Greetings friends, I'm back with another round of my Coldplay collection, and I can tell you right now this will not be the last part.
No, it isn't going to be our last one.
I have a lot of stuff. A lot. But this time I figured we'd focus a little bit more on the stuff that I got from concerts and a few extra things. First, I want to start with the newest additions to my Coldplay collection since, well, not all of the newest ones, but a couple of new ones that are related to what I talked to last video, since I did the last video, which is Kaleidoscope EP. And if you'll remember, I said in last video we didn't even really know if it was going to have a physical release. Of course it was going to have a physical release, come on. But here it is in my hands right now. So this is Kaleidoscope EP. It's another papery kind of cover like the Viva Vida Prospects March double edition. And it in fact has two things here. So the little EP sleeve is on this side, and it just has some fancy lyrics written by Chris Martin. This is the correct way to hold it up. If you hold it this way, then I hope you can read upside down. I can, but his handwriting's not the best. We'll just leave it at that. And we've got the nice fancy EP disc itself. And then some little notes in here, thanking people. I believe there's some sort of typo. So that's great. And then, you know, just the track listing on the back. And then I bought this actually from a music store that also sells like used DVDs. And this is Coldplay, the band. So not the boys we know, obviously, not Coldplay, Coldplay. Okay, it's like stretched on the spine here. That's awful. Unauthorized. We're not allowed to have this. And mostly it's this one interview with Chris and Johnny, which is, I'm pretty sure, available on YouTube. And then a bunch of other interviews with people who aren't Coldplay at all, just talking about Coldplay. Produced without the band's authority or their record company or management. How scandalous. And I tried to stream this on YouTube one day and it got taken down for copyright. Even an unauthorized stream of an unauthorized DVD is not okay these days. Or any days. My very first Coldplay concert was August 3rd, 2009 in Mansfield, Massachusetts. I went with two of my sisters. We had lawn seats, but luckily being the Coldplay genius I am, knew about the C stage, and so when we walked into the lawn section and I spotted this little like area blocked off, I'm like, we're going there, we're standing there. There were a couple people around there already, but we got a really decent spot. It was like just off to the side of the stage. So I was basically almost at the corner of the C stage, the one corner, by the stairs. And then my sisters were next to me. And we had these puppets that I made of the band I originally made them for the Lost ? Video competition, the video that I was making. I had the puppets in. I'll show you those in the next video. The next video I'm going to try and do like my handmade stuff. Anyway, you don't need to know that, but we had seats by the C stage with our Coldplay puppets, and when the boys approached us, man, I freaked out. This video is on my channel. Coldplay, I think it's like called Coldplay Walks Up to C Stage or something like that. And if you listen to it, turn the volume down, and also I apologize. I was 16, almost 17. And it's so surreal. I'm sure you guys know that first moment that you see them and it's like they're not dots and they're not on a screen. They're like real people. It is crazy. So they walked up to the C stage and I was filming it. And then I shut my camera off and went to put it in my pocket, and I looked back up and Chris was pointing at one of my sisters. Just pointing. Turns out he pointed twice. Well, he was showing Will. So he like pointed, then tapped Will on the arm, and then pointed again. I only saw the second point. It was crazy. I was like, oh, I'm so happy for my sisters. They just got recognized by Chris Martin. It was awesome. And then they played through Green Eyes, and then Death Will Never Conquer with Will singing. Always great. And then they played Billie Jean. But right toward the end of Death Will Never Conquer, Chris walked over to the corner of the stage, and he looked at me. And I, in my head, thought, this is so scary, but Brooke, you have to look back. Like, if you don't look back at Chris Martin making eye contact with you, that is like the worst. That's just like you completely failed life, right? That's how that works. So I did. I made eye contact with him. And I still hold to this day was the scariest moment of my life, because that guy, look, he has very intense eyes. It's scary. That was enough for me. I was like, this moment happened. And then I saw him like kind of move a little bit, and I didn't know what was happening, but then I just like kind of reached out, and then all of a sudden this thing was in my hand, and it was this harmonica. I've never played it. So the last person who played this harmonica was Chris Martin, and he threw it at me. The absolute miracle of all of this is that I caught it with my left hand, which my right hand is my dominant hand, and I'm not great at catching things, but I caught this and with my left hand, so clearly it was meant to be. My harmonica. This is probably, well, for a long time it was my most prized Coldplay possession. Now I feel like I have a lot of stuff, so much stuff that it's still up there, but there's like quite a few things that are up there now. At this point in my life now, that's another thing that's changed since the last video, I've been to 4 official Coldplay concerts. And basically every single one of them, definitely 3 of them, the best nights of my life. My second Coldplay concert was August 4th, 2012. So it was 3 years and 1 day after my first concert. We had like nosebleed seats. It was an arena, so even the seats that we had were still not terrible. But it was still kind of high up, not the best. Where we were sitting, we were able to see outside in like the little lobby. It's not really a lobby, you know what I mean, where all like the stands are and everything. There was the C stage equipment. So it was like all these boxes that had like, they were painted and everything. It was super cool. So my sister and I just went with my one sister this time, Olivia. We stood in front of them and then we're like taking pictures, and I had my Milo Xyloto doll. So I made this about 3 days before the concert, because I was like, last time I had my puppets, I need to have something else with me. And so I made Milo. This was before the comics came out, but they had been announced. And I brought it with me. I gave him a Xyloband, which I was like, this is the Xyloband that I want to have, so I'm going to give it to Milo. And the incredible thing is that as we were walking in the doors, they were handing out the Xylobands, and this is the one that I got. So it's like, you know, if you think it can happen. A head full of dreams. So my sister and I have Milo, we were taking pictures outside the C stage, and I knew that roadies go around and upgrade people. So we were standing outside, just kind of hanging out, just kind of looking like super Coldplay fans. After a while, nothing was happening, so my sister had to go to the bathroom. I was like, I'll wait for you out here, then we can go in and actually just sit at our seats. And while she was gone, I was just standing there, and this guy walked past me, and I like kind of looked at him, but didn't really like interact with him. And then he like kind of, I don't know, like double take or something, but like he like looked over at me, he stopped, and then walked over to me and was asking me about my doll, and I was like, I know what's going on. I know what's going on. And I said that to him after we like had a little bit of conversation. He was like, where are your seats? Are you here with anyone else? And I told him that my sister's in the bathroom. He was like, okay, we'll wait until she comes back. And then I think I'll like, I forget what he said. Something like, I have something to talk to you, whatever. Implying that something cool was about to happen. And I said to him, I know who you are. I was very forward about it. He was like, how do you know? I was like, because I'm on the Coldplay forums. Like, I'm a look at me. Anyway, so my sister came back and we got upgraded to front row. It was crazy. I was like, it was crazy. It was crazy. I couldn't believe that I was going to be front row at a Coldplay. I still can't believe that I've been front row at a Coldplay concert. So we were right on Johnny's side. Perfect view of Johnny. I got to meet a couple people. Jimmy, the guy who goes to all the Coldplay shows, actually was sitting, he and his friend were there, sitting right next to us. So I met him. That was cool. During one of the songs, in my memory, it happened after Charlie Brown, but I honestly have no idea if that's true or not. They were on stage, then Chris like made a gesture, and then I felt something hit my shoulder. And this time I'm not sure that it was meant for me, but this little guitar pick right here, so it still has the Velcro on it, hit my shoulder and then fell over like the railing. So we had to call the security guy over and be like, can you pick that up for me? But yeah, so my very first concert, I got a harmonica, and my very second Coldplay concert, I got a guitar pick. For a while, my running joke was that every time I go to a Coldplay concert, Chris Martin throws something at me. It has not happened since. That's okay. And I just have, I got this cute little MX button, and I actually have an Oxfam one too on my backpack. Grow. Which I paid like $3 or something for this MX pin, and nothing but a signature for this Oxfam pin. And this Oxfam pin has held up way better than this one did because it broke. Otherwise, it would probably be on my backpack. My third Coldplay concert was in Philadelphia, 2016, and nothing really special happened at that one. We did get upgraded, but only because my friend who went with me, we were in the nosebleeds, and she has a terrible fear of heights, and so she was like super freaking out, and the people at the Lincoln Financial Field were nice enough to help us and get us some upgraded seats. So we were still pretty far back, but it wasn't up as high. So that was nice. Those people were very nice. The people who worked at the financial field, super great. And that's where I got this style band, which is kind of like yellowed a little bit on the band. It's interesting. And this was my Oxfam souvenir from the Philadelphia show. I also made this little flower crown for the Philadelphia concert and ended up not really wearing it myself because it gets kind of like hot and itchy, so I gave it to Milo to wear most of the time. He came with me for that concert, and he came with me for this last concert that I'm going to tell you about. My last Coldplay concert was in San Diego, 2017. This was the last concert of Coldplay's US leg, the last US leg of the Head Full of Dreams tour. It was 2 days before my birthday, so I was like, that is perfect, because I really wanted to go to another Head Full of Dreams concert. I really just wanted to go to another Coldplay concert, generally. It just so happens that this is the era we're in. But because I'd only ever been to one concert per era, which I'm still glad that I have been to those ones. But I was like, I have the resources now, and I'm an adult, and I can get there on my own. So I want to try and go to another show. But the thing about being an adult, you have work and all these other stuff that makes it hard to go to concerts, especially when they're on Tuesday nights. So I couldn't go to the show that was in New York, which would have been the most sensical show for me to go to. But then I started thinking about, like, if I'm going to spend a decent amount of money in travel to get there, because I don't have a car, if I'm going to spend the money on it, I may as well make it like a real thing. So I decided to go to San Diego to see Coldplay 2 days before my birthday. And I was able to see my parents and my youngest sister, who live out in Arizona now. They made the trip out there, and it was cool for my dad because he's originally from San Diego. My friend Diana, you may remember, she sent me quite a few of the vinyls that I have and my Viva Vida Prospects March CDs. We have never met in person. We've been friends since 2009. She was gonna go out to San Diego, and we were gonna go see Coldplay together. It was gonna be great. Then about a week before, she was like, I can't go. I have to babysit my nieces and nephews. She had to do it for her brother. So I was super bummed, but my youngest sister, Laura, has never been to a Coldplay concert before. The rest of us have. So I talked to my parents. I have an extra ticket, so if you guys can stay the day, So that's what we ended up doing. We didn't tell her until the night before that she was going to go to a Coldplay concert. She was under the impression that they were going home the next day, and that after I went to the concert, they would go home. And we told her, and she was like freaking out. It was so great. These seats that we had for the show were nosebleed seats. And I could talk through this whole crazy thing. I have a post that I wrote up that I never finished and never posted. So I'm gonna do that around the same time as I'm editing this video. So hopefully those two can go up together, because there were so many crazy things that happened that day. Let's put it this way. I had my Milo Xyloto doll, of course, which almost didn't make it in, but like I said, you can read about that in my post. The flower crown, I was wearing it. I had a new Coldplay shirt that I had made. My sister had the Coldplay shirt that I had made for my Philadelphia concert. We met my friend April, who's from Australia, before the doors opened. We got in eventually, and we were walking around. We were like, we want to get upgraded. You know, we want to use our Coldplay skills to get upgraded. We walked around the first level for a bit. Then I was like, I feel like we need to go up to the top, because that's where the roadies are going to be looking, is the people who are up in those seats. So we went up, and almost immediately we found someone. He was talking to a couple of other people who were like in their seats or in that area. So we were waiting. My sister bought a pretzel, so she was eating that. As he was walking out, then a couple of other people started talking to him. So we just kept waiting. We just kept standing there talking amongst ourselves. And then eventually he came to talk to us. It was crazy. We were talking for a while. He was really nice. This guy's name was Chris. At the end of our conversation, he upgraded the three of us together. So we didn't even have seats near each other to begin with. He upgraded us to, I think we were third row in the first three seats. So that means we were along the barrier, and because we were in those seats, we were allowed to stand near the barrier. And the way the seats were set up, it was kind of like the first row, then the second row, then the third row. So we had enough room that we were basically front row then. And April like got the corner, and then me and Laura stood up to the side. So once again, I got to see Coldplay front row. It was just incredible. Part of it was streamed on Mexican TV, and I ended up being shown on the screen, which was crazy. I came back to my hotel room and went on Twitter to find that people were like sending me messages that I had been on TV, which was crazy. And then we got to hear Life is Beautiful, which was just an incredible moment. Being able to be there and hear that song live for the first time right there, and it was just great. So then after the show, when we were all sad that it was over, Chris came back out. Chris the roadie, not Chris Martin, although that would have been great. He came back out and gave us some set lists. So I actually took the effort to frame mine along with some of the confetti, because from my Philadelphia concert, I didn't get any confetti. We were too far back. I got confetti this time, and I framed it. So I have my set list, some confetti, and my ticket down here. And these, which I kept, which are the wristbands that I'd wear. So this one was the floor band, so for people who had floor seats. And then this one was the like barrier band, so you could stand at the barrier. That's really my explanation of why those are the three best nights of my life. And each time, so I have this tradition that started with the first concert. While we were driving to Massachusetts, we listened to the song I Got a Feeling by Black Eyed Peas. You know, in the song the lyrics are, I got a feeling that tonight's gonna be a good night. It worked that first time. So the second time we listened to it again. The third concert that I went to in Philadelphia, I tried to listen to that song and it got messed up. So I'm not gonna say that I'm weirdly superstitious for someone who doesn't necessarily believe that that stuff is actually real. I don't know. But this last time, we listened to it and we got upgraded again. So I'm just going to say, if you want to have an awesome time at a Coldplay concert, just try listening to I Got a Feeling by the Black Eyed Peas. It might work out for you, it might not. What's the worst that can happen? You still end up at a Coldplay concert? This is the Xylo band that I got from that concert. So this one's a little different from the other one in that it says Xylo bands. Actually, I don't know the other one might say xylo bands, but it has like almost the Flower of Life design. I mean, it is the Flower of Life design, it's just weird the way they had to cut it. And then I have this xylo band also, which is one that my friend Laura gave me. She sent it to me. But it has like all this color on it. All the other US ones don't. And I got a bunch more love buttons from that concert too when in San Diego, because I got a blue one for myself. Then I asked the woman who was handing them out if I could have another one for Milo, and she snuck me another one. As we were walking around, April had a bunch of love pins on her, but me and Laura only had the ones that we had. So this guy was like, looked at us. He was handing out red ones. He like looked at us. He was like, you don't have a red one. Here you go. You don't have a red one. Here you go. So I got 3 love pins, love buttons from that concert also. So that about wraps up my concert stuff, except for, well, let's talk about this next then. This is my Rolling Stones bag. So the series of bags that had Rolling Stone covers on them were put out by Walmart. But the Walmart near where I grew up did not have Coldplay ones. They had some, but not Coldplay, which was disappointing. While we were in Massachusetts for my very first Coldplay concert, my parents went out and actually bought 3 of these. So one for myself and the 2 sisters who went with me to the concert. And I actually for a while used mine for like school stuff, but as you can see, it like started to wear, and I wanted to take good care of it, so I stopped using it, and now it's just kind of like Coldplay storage. In here I have a bunch of these things. So these are all of my concert tickets for Massachusetts, New Jersey, Philadelphia, and then I also have my Head Full of Dreams stickers in here, just I guess just for safekeeping. This confetti, so before my San Diego concert, I didn't have any confetti from a Head Full of Dreams store. My friend Sai sent me this, and she sent me a couple of other things, and she gave me a bunch of this confetti, so I was like, oh, now I have confetti from it. And then I went and got a ton from the concert. And actually, my Secret Santa for Coldplay this year also gave me a bunch of confetti. So I can show you guys that. It's in a bag over there. These are butterflies, original Viva La Vida butterflies. So for that concert, we were also too far back for the confetti to hit us because we were in the lawn section. But as we were leaving, we went down through the seated area, and I just scooped up a bunch of confetti. So we have like the papery kind of butterflies, which is kind of, I guess, what most of the confetti is like now. It's just like this paper. And you can see that the paper ones have not aged super well, but that's okay. Then there's like these kind of not quite plastic, but they're more, I'm not good with paper textures, but they're a little sturdier. And then we have, these are my favorite ones, the shiny ones. So I have a shiny purple one, and let's see if I can get this blue one out of here. Yeah, they're also a little worse for wear, but you know, these are about 9 years old now, almost 9 years old at this point. And then these are all from my Milo Xyloto concert. I tried to separate them. So like these are M's butterflies. The little spaceship, which I have as a tattoo. Hearts. Flames. Flowers. Birds. Teardrop. And then, yeah, these are the crowns, and I think I have a couple of X's in here too. The other stuff that I have in here is some really old Coldplay shirts, which I have a bunch of other ones to show you too, but I'll wait for the next video to do that. But since these ones are in here, this was from my very first Coldplay shirt. I believe this one says Speed of Sound. And after the shirt like kind of got some holes in it, I was just like, I'll cut it up. I'll cut the back of it up. And I like hung it up on my wall for a while. That was my very first Coldplay shirt that I ever had. And then this one was from my second one. So I think Viva La Vida, I think this was on the back of the shirt. And then this, yeah, because this was the front. This picture of the boys, which I think is one of like my favorite pictures of them. Although I feel like it doesn't get circulated a lot these days. I feel like you don't see it making the rounds. too often. And then I have this shirt in here. This is a shirt that I made. I made a lot of Coldplay clothes during the Viva Vida era. It just seemed like the right time, you know? It was the first time that Coldplay made their own clothes. So I had like a couple of shirts, which I have another one that I can, like I said, I'll show you in the next video. And then I like painted my pants and put like felt on them and stuff like that. So I had like a pair of pants that on the leg, it said like lost, exclamation point, question mark, at, plus, that whole thing. This is my Violet Hill shirt. So it says, I took my love down to Violet Hill. You can see there's holes in it. That's why I stopped wearing this shirt. And then on the back it says, if you love me, won't you let me know? Which was such a great song. I can't believe that Viva Vida is almost 10 years old. The last thing I'm going to show you from this bag is in this zipper pouch. It's not like there's more to show you. This is the last thing that's in here. I have a yellow hair tie, which I don't know if I put it in here just because it's yellow, or I might have worn it to my first concert. I think I put it in here just because it's yellow. I'm not sure. Very difficult to hold. These are the Made with Love in Brazil bracelets. This is the only one that's like really sort of almost intact, except it's kind of broken a little bit. This would pinch you for sure. I had that happen so many times. And it looks really small. Like I feel like it must have shrunk. But anyway, these are the Made with Love in Brazil bracelets, which you may recall seeing Chris Martin wearing during the Viva Vida era. And so I bought, there's probably like 10 of them here, and I used to wear them. I would wear them until they broke or until they started pinching me enough that it was not worth it to wear them. And now I keep them in this bag. That's it. So that's this bag for you. I love it. I wish I had another one that was like actually in pristine condition. Or like one that I could use. I don't know. I feel like this is a really like especially nowadays, a pretty like unique thing to have, because they're you know, not being made anymore, and it's almost 10 years old at this point. So it's weird how much stuff you collect over the years, and then you're like, oh yeah, this is a thing that I have, but a lot of other people don't have it. Speaking of which, no one else has this, except 2 other people have similar ones. In, I guess it was late July 2016, Coldplay announced that they had worked with Skype to do these Skype emojis for like centered on A Head Full of Dreams themes. There was a video showing them making the artwork, and then Skype themselves had a sort of not a competition, kind of a competition. Skype themselves ran a sort of promotion / competition where all you had to do was follow them on Twitter and then reply to this one tweet with, what is your favorite Coldplay song? So I did that, a message, that's my favorite, and I followed them. And the sort of promotion they were doing is they were going to give away 3 framed pieces of artwork to, you know, just 3 random people who met the criteria. And so I just did it. It was fun. And then like the next day or the day after something, because it was a pretty quick time frame, I got a DM from Skype on Twitter that said, congratulations, you won, just give us your details and we'll send it out to you. And I was like, what? So we didn't know which pieces of artwork were being given away, and we didn't know which ones we were going to get, and we didn't know when we were going to get them either. It ended up coming like a month later, I think, which makes sense because I think it shipped from overseas. So, and obviously it's a pretty big package. This was super nice. Like it's a very nice frame and everything. And they sent this along with it, which is these pictures are like the promotional picture that went along with the promotion. And then they also have these stills from the video. So like this is them working on the one that I have, the circles, which I think was the one they talked about last in the video, the pulsating circles. Okay, what did Chris say? pulsation across the nation or something like that.
What about heart beating?
There you go. That's all right.
I got it. What can we do with this circle, guy?
Maybe it could pulsate or something like that.
I like that idea.
Yeah?
Pulsation across the nation. Make it pulse, guy.
This is Johnny with the Amazing Day one. I think our friend at I Ran Away has this one, I believe, because she was one of the other people. And I don't think we ever found out who the third person was, but there was an image that showed what the 3 artworks were that were given away. But yeah, I don't think we ever found out who had it. So yeah, these are the pictures that they sent, and they sent a nice letter too. Dear Brooke, congratulations, you're the winner of the ultimate Coldplay emoji souvenir, an original framed piece emoji artwork signed by Chris, Johnny, Guy, and Will. So this, like I was saying, for a while, my harmonica was like my most prized Coldplay possession and is still top, but this is definitely also super incredible. It doesn't quite beat having something signed by the boys that you got signed yourself while meeting them, but it's still really incredible to like look at this, seeing their signatures, but also like the texture to the drawing itself, and like realizing that like this isn't a duplicate, this isn't a print, this isn't an image, this isn't a photograph, this is the real artwork. This is the real artwork that they really did, and they touched it and they signed it. I think that's a good place to wrap it up today. Oh wait, I'm gonna show you one last thing actually, just because it's already right next to me, is my copy of Rhodey. I started to reread it a little bit. I'm on page 30 again, because I got this in like 2012. Diana sent it to me actually for Christmas, or no, for my birthday. I got it in 2012, which was about 2 years after it actually came out. I only read it the one time, so I was like, I want to reread it, because I missed them. So I've been kind of sort of rereading it. Well guys, that about does it for this video. I filmed a lot more than I was expecting to film, so hopefully I can cut this down to a reasonable size, or even this video may need to be split into separate parts, but I'll definitely be back again for another video, because I have plenty of more stuff to show you, plenty of more to talk about. Hopefully you are interested in hearing about it. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Okay, let's get this party rolling. A party, please. Me? A party? I don't think so. Okay. What's going on? I gotta warm up my vocal cords real quick. Yeah, okay, sure. That makes total sense.